Hey guys, what's up? So today I wanted to just quickly talk about how to remove bad debt and negotiate with a creditor. So let's get into it. So the first thing when talking to creditors is knowing where you stand with them. For example, if you owe a lot to a creditor and you're not sure the exact amount or how many late payments you've had, definitely go in and do your research. Make sure you know so that when you're speaking to them, you know exactly what you're talking about, because they will try to trip you up and it can get a little messy even though you're trying to solve the problem. So the first thing you want to do is know where you stand. And then a lot of people don't know this, and I did a lot of research online as well just to try to see if there were any forums out there or any articles on this topic specifically, but there are very few. And what I found is that a lot of people go straight to a credit repair company to try to do exactly what you can do on your own. It's as simple as picking up the phone and calling your creditor and negotiating some sort of payment terms or whatever the case is, because your creditor got this money for free essentially, and now they're giving it to you at such an insane interest rate. And I know circumstances come up, people's situations change, some people aren't educated about credit, and we essentially go into all this bad debt as a society. So first thing is, do not try to hire a credit repair company off rip. In later videos, I want to go into exactly how you can just do a lot of those credit repairs yourself. A lot of it is just printing out all of your credit reports from all 3 credit bureaus and auditing pretty much addresses, names, social security numbers, account numbers, all of those good things. And again, I will go into later videos on exactly how to do that. Increase your credit score by 70 points instantly on average. So a lot of these credit repair things or anything dealing with debt, you can do it yourself. You don't need to hire a company to do this. What you want to do when negotiating any bad debt or any late payments with a creditor is figure out what number you are willing to pay. I know, like I said, situations change. So if back then you were able to make the minimum payments of $100, but now you're only able to do about 30, negotiate that. Negotiate being able to reduce your monthly payments or your minimum payments to about $30. Another way to negotiate is to reduce the overall balance due. So like I said before, creditors get this money for free, so they're willing to accept pennies on the dollar, especially from people who have been making multiple late payments or haven't been paying at all, and they hear from these people, they're willing to accept maybe 30% of what your total balance is. So try to figure out what you're willing and able to pay off and go from there. Start low, and then they'll, whatever they'll do is they'll probably negotiate back and forth with you a little bit, but it's super simple. It's as easy as picking up the phone and calling the creditor, first things first. So negotiating that overall balance or negotiating your minimum payments, whichever works best for your situation, is what you're going to do. And I know it sounds really uncomfortable to try to call a big credit card company and say, hey, I want to pay you guys 30% of what I owe you and have the entire account go away or the entire debt go away. But people do it all the time, and it's probably the first thing that a credit repair company is going to do for you anyway, so why not do it for yourself? So once you're able to negotiate whatever the terms are, usually they'll have you sign settlement documents. It sounds really scary, but it's not that scary at all. When you do agree to sign those documents, just make sure that you are listening to all the terms that come along with it. Sometimes creditors will try to throw something in there, a little slick. Another great thing to do is to make sure that when you are doing the payment, try not to do the payment over the phone. Try to get some sort of number that you can send an ACH payment to, or a check. Maybe they'll see if they'll accept a check. But if you're so late in your payments that the account is already about to be charged off, that may not be an option. Just get confirmation that they're only going to take what you guys agreed upon, because again, sometimes they'll try to take a little bit more once they have access to your bank account. So just get confirmation, whether that's verbal or via email, that you have settled for this amount. Now, if your account has been charged off, that's a whole different story. So if your account has been charged off and sent to collections, this has now become something where you're negotiating with the collection agency and not the credit card company. You want to try to catch this when it's still with the credit card company before sending it to collections, because not only do they have to pay the collection company to keep harassing you to pay the payments or whatever the case is, they also benefit more from taking pennies on the dollar from you in the beginning, portion. I think you have about 185 days or 180 days before they charge it off to a collection agency. So try to get it within those days. And if you haven't, that's okay too. It just becomes a much more formalized process with the collection agency, because they're going to try to get as much out of you as possible. So because it's again free money for them. They've been paid by the credit card company to go after you, and they're getting paid a percentage of whatever they get from you, as well as a monthly payment from the credit card company. So keep that in mind. Once you're able to negotiate your debts down to whatever is doable for you in your current situation, then you need to start making a plan to budget yourself so that whatever happened doesn't happen again. So you don't want to create this, you don't want this to become a habit. You don't want to be receiving credit and then making it go bad all the time. So essentially, you don't want this to become a habit. What you need to do is get yourself on track to make sure that if you were to borrow money again in the future, that you're using it in the proper ways. And I know sometimes people use credit for emergencies, they use it for necessities, and that's all fine too. But once you're able to get rid of that and you're able to start brand new, make a plan for yourself so that you don't go back into that situation, because they may forgive you once, but they may not forgive you twice. So keep that in mind. If you guys have any questions specifically related to dealing with creditors or how to improve your credit report or how to improve your credit score, I have a link down below to my website, www.kayakventures.co, where I help individuals and businesses succeed in business and in personal finance. So if you have any questions, feel free to check that link out. Schedule some one-on-one time with me so we can talk about it, talk about your situation and how you can improve your financial situation.